I see too much fucking stupid shit in the SMMA space.
Yeah.
You know about these guys thinking they're all that when they're built like fucking cheese strings. Some of these guys, I can just tell by watching their videos, they've never got punched in the face ever. I'll show you what overpowering is, bro. I'll show you what making money means. Because if I see you doing all this flexing bullshit, and then I talk to you and you're like one of those blonde girls in Miami where you just don't have a fucking comment to say.
Alright, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you guys that are new, my name is Addy, and today we have a really special episode planned. We have a guest interview with the legend himself, Tariq. You guys may know him better as the SMMA Rizzler. And I just wanted to say, for those of you guys that are watching that have seen his videos online, he's an absolute G in real life. A couple days ago, I just sent him a message on Instagram to pretty much set up an interview virtually. And he invited me to his crib to pretty much, set up this podcast and helped with all the equipment. So that's the type of stuff you don't see nowadays. We're going to ask him some great questions. If you guys are beginners in the space, or even if you have an agency that's up and running, believe me, there's going to be a lot of value that he's going to be providing today. So make sure you guys stay tuned. With that being said, before we actually get into the questions, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, no, appreciate it, man. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Look, I'm glad you came here. Yeah. Like, I'm always up for it. I know you came to me and I immediately said, yeah, let's set something up. But I was already straight off the bat, like, if anyone wants to talk to me, I'm not on some high horse pompous type vibe.
You're on the real stuff.
Yeah, man. If you want to speak, come here. I'm busy as fuck. So if you want to come speak to me, you have to come to my place because you're in the area, no problem.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's get this rocking, man. Seriously, I'm excited for this. This is definitely a first for me as well. So let's fucking go.
That's fucking awesome. All right. So first question, because people love to hear the numbers, I guess it's important to understand like the level you're at.
Of course.
So where are you currently at with your agency in terms of revenues and things like that?
We just started inbound, so like the numbers will 100% be almost doubled, if not tripled, for this month.
Oh, wow.
But 50K a month revenue is where we've been sitting for the last 4 months.
4 months.
And it only just scaled up to that number for the last 4 months. So 50K a month is what we did the last 2 months. This month could be, we just started inbound ads. My funnels are all visible that people can just see. But we're probably going to do about 100K this month, but 50K last.
So this is the first one you're doubling?
Oh, 100%. I just closed 2 deals pretty much in the last couple of days. So if I close a deal a day, that's 100K. So yeah, 50K.
That's amazing. Congrats. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so now we know, the level that he's at, obviously. But I kind of want to take you back, because I'm sure the people watching, they might be beginners, and it's important to understand the journey of getting to 10K. And I saw a video where you mentioned that for the first 3 months of your agency, you were losing money with, Go High Level and stuff like that. You weren't making any money. And then after the 3 months, you're at 10K per month consistently. Yeah. So, tell us about how you got yourself to that point and, what you did.
Yeah, honestly, man, I just, with starting out, I started in Hustlers University, so I was playing professional basketball. I said this hundreds of times, but I'll say it again. I played pro ball. Yeah. I had a job, pretty much just did nothing, wasting my time, fucking jack shit. And then I joined Hustlers University, did 3 months there. I think I paid for 2 months, but I somehow was in there for 3 months, and I did copywriting. I actually had like a couple of good months making a lot of money, but it was almost SMMA at the beginning because I was making like websites, I was running ad copy, and I was doing pretty much all the stuff that SMMA people do. Yeah. So then the first, October, November, December, that's when I really just said, look, let me just go straight into like the med spa industry. And I saw Thomas Garnett's video, and I just copied that because I knew I could do better.
Right.
And I'm a big advocate for saying, look, if you see someone that is doing an agency kind of model that you appreciate and you want to do, copy the fuck out of them, because you can best believe it's not going to be the same thing as them. Just copy their idea, but as soon as you start, you don't have their systems, you don't have all this. So I just did exactly what he was doing, copied it all, and then you level it up to the max. And then I met my guys, Ryan and Austin, who you can't see in this video, but they're my partners, and they also had med spa agencies as well, and they were earning 10 grand a month. So I was just like, hey, let's partner up. But before we hit 10K a month, I had a Discord in January. January is when I hit my first 10K, signed 6 clients in the UK. After signing 0 clients for October, November, December, in the shit, lost like 2 grand. Well, didn't lose, but I spent 2 grand without any kind of idea that I'll make any more. So after signing my first client in January, the floodgates just opened. 3 months after that, met up with Ryan and Austin. Then 3 months after that, we partnered, and now it's 12 months and we're basically booming.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there's a couple of things there. So first thing is Hustlers University. So you think that was kind of like the gateway into the whole SMMA space? Because you said you're doing like copywriting and the whole web stuff. Like it was in the same realm, you're pretty much saying.
It was in the online making money space.
Yeah.
So that's really what it was. It doesn't even matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
I just knew with Hustlers University, it opened my eyes to like other, like there's you can venture off into things online rather than actually needing to, you know, open up a restaurant or open up a spot, because when people think of opening a business or starting a business, it's something physical. And all I needed was to spend that, you know, $100 in Hustlers University to say, okay, wow, this is something that's possible.
So you thought it was actually valuable?
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's controversy stories out there, but I mean, if you're spending $100 on something, like you're not really losing out on anything, even if you got scammed.
Exactly.
At least you learn something from it. That never spend money on some bullshit again.
That's true. That could be a night out for drinks.
Of course. Not for me though.
No. Okay. So, and then in terms of that, getting to the 10K month, because you said you went from 0 and then randomly you were making 10K. So because I guess some people go gradual, they go like 5, they might even go 2, and then they'll go 10K eventually after a couple months. But you went from 0 to 10K per month. Yeah,
my rev was actually 11 in euros as well. So January, my revenue in January, my sister was my VA. She was the appointment setter. She was doing all the fulfillment. January, I did 11.6 thousand euros. So that's about like 13 for whatever that time was in January 2023. I was doing more than 10K. They all paid on like the 25th or 26th of that January. And I was doing all my models. My model was pay after results. I signed pretty much everyone within the first week of January or the week before. And then, you know, end of that month was 11. I revved, I have the receipts and everything. That's why I'm really a big advocate for calling people out, because I actually have the receipts for every single month that I've done and hit those numbers. So January turned out to be a pretty good month. Okay.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed about you. You're like very transparent. You know, some people have like fluff here and there. They won't show what they actually have. Hey, but something about you.
It's all they're trying to sell something. They're trying to get you, they'll show you their agency numbers, not their actual like company numbers.
That's true. That's very true. Okay. And then in terms of getting to that point in the first place of 10K, you were, in terms of outreach, you're mainly sticking to cold calling, right?
Cold calling was my main kind of form. I don't even know it, but I was one of the first people to advocate for Instagram outreach when I was in Hustlers University.
Oh, really?
No one really did that shit until, I'm not saying I pioneered the idea. But I'm saying it wasn't as popular as it is today compared to like the DMs that I get in my fucking inbox, like guys trying to help me with copywriting, this, that, and this. That was my main method for finding clients before I actually signed any. That's all I did with copywriting. But I just transitioned immediately to cold calling in the med spa space. But I know if I started maybe 6 months before and just did Instagram outreach, I probably would have, you know, made even more money at the beginning.
Okay. And what would you say is like, obviously there multiple effective outreach methods, but as of right now, what would you say is the most
cold calling is the strongest. It's always going to be the strongest. Like anyone that says, like, every other type of outreach is good. Like there's no bad outreach method. Some might be outdated, some need the time and place for it, some need like a developed pipeline to actually be utilizable. But cold calling is always the standard, because you're going to be doing sales calls anyways. So you need to know, you know, you need to have that, like, that confidence boost, or just that ability to say something that you're not comfortable in saying consistently over and over again, because if you're not doing that, you're just going to go into a sales call and shit your bed.
That's very true. And then in terms of, like my next question was actually related to that, because, you know, just coming across your YouTube channel, cold calling was like one of the first things I came across, and I'm like, okay, this guy's something different. You know, like most people making these cold calling videos, you know, it's a very standard thing. Like they've got like the standard script, but you're super creative and you're playful. You make it sound exciting. And I'm going to quote you here from one of your previous interviews. You said you could be a Kenyan person living in a hut or a penguin in the North Pole. I can still talk to you.
Fact.
So it's fact. So what advice would you give to others looking to get started with cold calling for their SMMA and pretty much get rid of that fear of rejection? Because
it's all about,
people hide with that.
Completely agree, man. And I'm very clear-minded when I say this. It's not actually as easy as I make it seem, or maybe even perceive when I'm actually doing it. But communication, having good communication starts not even cold calling. It starts like talking with family, friends, talking to strangers. That was something that I was already confident in doing. And just not caring about what other people think, because if you start doing that, even in not business related things, you're not going to have like a good political conversations. You're not going to be able to speak to women or men or whatever it is. People aren't going to really find you appealing to talk to. And that's all sales as well. Like I said in my videos, that video that you quote me from, just sales is everything. Like you're selling yourself right now at any point in time. Like, you know, like the bottle that you have right there that you're drinking from, you got sold by that brand to buy it. You know, and I bought this sparkling water because I got sold by that brand to buy it. So there's things like everything is selling, and people just need to understand they need to just develop their communication skills.
That's a very good point. And yeah, just like referring back to a really good point you made just about cold calling in general. I was listening to that. I'm like, damn, that's actually very true. Because you said that you really have to understand your own value. And like, obviously at the end of the day, you need the client, but at the same time, the client needs you, right? If you're making that offer to potentially increase their revenues and provide all sorts of value. So, you know, that's something, you know, if you guys haven't seen that video, I definitely want to reiterate that. That was a really good point that you made.
Yeah, no, appreciate it.
Okay, so now we've kind of had a bit of a discussion about the outreach part of your SMMA. I wanted to ask you about service delivery because in the beginning, when you got into SMMA and you were, you know, signing clients and getting to that 10K mark, were you fulfilling the service delivery yourself, or did you have a media buyer?
I was in it with me and my sister. I never had a media buyer. I had maybe one kind of helper friend doing outreach for me, but with appointment setting, it was strictly me and my sister. And I said it in my video. I actually don't know if I uploaded it yet, but with appointment setting, I was going into something very foreign that I had no idea because it was med spa. This is not some shit that I'm aware of, and I don't know anything about it. It's not where my heart is, but it makes money and it's a good business model and I'm learning hardcore skills. But with the appointment setting, any type of service delivery, I was very I just utilized my skills and I knew I was like a bulldoze cold call method. So the leads that came in, yes, they were getting sent automations, but I was calling everybody relentlessly. And whenever they had a question or a problem or an objection, the answer I always gave them was yes. Like, does this shit work, or is this everything that they said? I wouldn't lie, but I would stretch the truth just to get people in the door. Because I know once my client gets them, they'll take care of them.
They'll take care.
So I just knew I needed to say yes to everything, just get people in. I forced my way into 10K a month, and that's really the real answer.
That's awesome. Well, you got there, so it worked. So that's the thing. So you did all the service delivery yourself. So how did you even go about building that confidence to carry out the service delivery? Because that's definitely something that holds people back, right?
I think, man, I just like not faked my way to all the way to the end, but it was very much like a delusional confidence. I just told myself I had to do it, and I'm very much a stickler for that. If I say I'm going to do it, I have to do it. I don't like, even if I say I'm going to, you know, go to the gym and I don't go to the gym, that just doesn't happen. If I say I have to do it, I got to do it. So I just told myself in January, I'm making 10 grand this month, no matter what happens, and it just has to happen. I don't care what happens. So it's just about forcing shit to happen. I'm a big believer in like making things actually happen by making it happen, not if it happens, it happens. I can't stand that shit, man. Like people, I don't like quotes. I'm not someone that says a lot of quotes. But you can't butter the toast without baking the bread.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So like you need to make sure that you're actually focusing on like the beginning and forcing it to happen. You need to bake. You need to make the dough. You need to make the bread. Put it in the oven. Butter it. I'm gonna make sure that fucking shit happens. Okay. I'm no matter what happens. I don't know how to bake bread. I don't know how to make butter. I'm gonna make sure I know. I'm gonna figure out a way to do it. I don't care if it tastes shit. If I made 10K at the end, if I'm getting the nutrients from the bread, I don't care. I'm gonna force it to happen, even though I have no idea how to do it.
I love that. Yeah, that's the thing, because I was talking to Ryan back there, and like, you know, nowadays most of the gurus, like, they'll say the business is super easy, offer a guarantee, you know, say you guarantee these many clients, and if not, you'll get a refund. But then I guess all for the new people watching, when they hear something like that, it's like, okay, yeah, I can offer this guarantee and I could tell that to someone, but when it actually comes to service delivery, I've never hopped on Facebook ads. I've gotten started with Facebook service delivery just a little while ago, you know? So now I'm actually playing with it, but that was one thing that held me back for a little while, just because, you know, when you don't know about something, then it's a bit confusing. So what would you say to those guys that are watching and, you know, they have no fucking idea about what it even is? So how can they get started in that space?
I say the same answer to everybody who's in my Discord channel, and I say, don't actually worry about that problem until you get to it. But what I mean by that is, until you're actually sitting a sales call, don't even think about it. But let's just say you're at the stage where you've sat a sales call and you need to worry about like service delivery, you need to worry about Facebook ads. It's very simple. It's it's not a cookie cutter type method when like these SMA gurus say this shit. But it actually is. The service delivery part is very, very, you know, concise. It's not as long as people think. You just need to know how to get onto their Facebook. You need to know how to set up the ads. All this shit is Google searchable. But you need to just know how to make a creative. You can go on Canva. You need to know how to make a Facebook ad, or go onto Facebook, connect people to your Facebook. All searchable on Google.
It is,
all figured out by Google. But when you actually get to the problem, this is the sole purpose, the way I respond to this, because I don't answer it the way people think. When you actually get to that stage where you need to learn it, you don't need to be listening to me. You'll be forcing yourself, if you have that relentless mindset, you'll be forcing yourself to actually figure out how to do it, no matter what happens. So don't worry about a fucking delivering for a client when you haven't even set a sales call.
Yeah.
Same concept. Don't worry about buttering the toast until you bake the bread.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that, because when you get to the stage where you actually need it,
Yeah.
you'll actually fucking need it.
Yeah.
And you'll do it. Nobody cares about service delivery. You could worry about service delivery for 3 months and never pick up the fucking phone and dial. And then you're 3 months wasting time and you don't really know much about service delivery.
Yeah.
You can only really learn Facebook service delivery by fucking up.
That's true.
And I fucked up so many times in the first 3-4 months of doing it. But I still got there in the end. So the short answer is, you'll know what to do when you actually get to the stage of doing it.
Yeah.
The whole point is just transitioning your mindset, so you know that you just need to worry about the actual point or problem in hand. And if your problem isn't Facebook ads or service delivery, figure out what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
It's probably something way behind that. It's probably sitting a sales call or conveying something more positively.
Yeah. No, fair enough. That totally makes sense. But another question on that, like, what would you say, when you're hopping on a sales call with the client, say you actually have one, then how would you say people are supposed to kind of make it seem like they have that experience in Facebook ads when they've actually never had that experience in the first place?
I would always, first of all, Jordan Platten said this best. Local SMMAs starting out or doing free trials are always good. I would rather do a free trial.
Yeah, that's true.
Always do a free trial to learn some shit.
Yeah.
Even if you have to waste 2 or 3 months, you're not really wasting anything, because you're really gathering knowledge and now you're learning. So I would always be transparent. I didn't in mine. I faked everything. But if I was to do it again, which is impossible unless I was to forget my, memory loss, then I would 100% do a free trial for at least 1 month, or for 3 clients for a month, or 1 client for 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, really gather that knowledge, really understand how to deliver, how to actually do everything, figuring every little meticulous problem out. So once you actually jump on a sales call, 3 months down the line, you're just closing the fuck out of them.
Yeah. No, very true. Yeah, that's exactly what I agree with. Even like on my channel, that's the approach that I took. Just hearing Jordan and your stuff, it's like now that I feel like I'm a lot more confident now, knowing that I could actually I'm in Facebook Ads Manager, I'm setting up the ads, I'm creating the creatives, and just you gain a lot more confidence as well. In that.
Because like, just to add on to that, the business owners are investing on Facebook. Now, you might get lucky and pull a whale that like they're okay with losing or just wasting 2-3 grand in that month of working with that free trial. But most people are like stingy with their money, where they just want to use it on as like minimal things as possible. So if you just say, look, you don't have to pay me anything, that you just pay it on ads, because that's actually investment you have to do on your end no matter what.
Exactly.
Then like I can figure something out, and if it doesn't, all you did was do something and have maybe someone who's a little bit more experienced than you do it, and it still didn't work out. So you can leave that client, because there's always more clients at the end of the day to find, and book up another person and close them, because you now have a month of experience on what not to do. You might not have gotten results, but now you know something to avoid, and you have maybe some key skills that you've developed.
Yeah, exactly. And then while we're on the topic of ads and all that, so now you're doing inbound ads with your agency. So if you want to explain a bit about what that is, because I guess it's also nice to know where people could take their agency potentially, because you said you got started with it this month. Yeah. So if you could kind of elaborate on that.
Inbound ads, like, first of all, before anyone worries about inbound ads, you need to have a very, very consistent outbound pipeline. So if you're not booking one meeting minimum a day, just outbound, like legit one meeting, like one secured meeting sitting.
Yeah.
I mean, you can book 2 or 3, you can book 10, but if one show up, then I only count that as a booked meeting. So I've got at least 30 shows from outbound. So you need to make sure that you actually have figured out a way to develop a sales team or VAs or whatever it is, that you can get a consistent meeting booked every single day, that you're in a position to close someone. Frontis Roy is really good for this. He got a company up to 100k a month without doing a single inbound ad. Then after that, he did inbound, and then he hit his best month of 250 profit, by the way. And that's what another thing we can touch about that in a second. But inbound, you just need a good funnel. You need, obviously your landing page has to be a good website. I'm a big stickler for branding. Like, personal branding is good, but business branding, you need to have something that's tangible. So when someone, who's interested in your service actually sees that you're legitimate. So having some reviews, that's why building up outbound and doing free trials, you can get a shit ton of free trials going, and then get a bunch of reviews going, all that stuff, get your SEO just slightly optimized, all that shit. And then once you run inbounds, because by the time, like I said, once you get to the stage you're in inbounds, you will know what you need to do. However, what you should do is have a good landing page, have it set for a lead form, and then, calendar, all this shit I learned from my boys. Like, I didn't set up any of this, like, pipeline. Like, shout out Austin and Ryan. They both have a YouTube channel, so we definitely plug those guys up eventually. But, having set foundations is the core to actually having a good inbound. You can have inbound pipeline. I see guys do it all the time in my fucking niche, and I click on their ads and I see no Instagram, I see no Google business,
Yeah.
I see no website, and I'm like, what is this? And a lot of agency gurus, you know, those guys that say they can give you 50 new bookings in a month, those are the ones that are the main culprits of that shit.
Yeah.
I don't see any receipts. Where's the receipts that you've helped other people?
Yeah.
You want that. That's visible. And the way you do that is by getting free trials. So inbound is just about, I'm all for results. Inbound's for results. You can see my ads live. I'm talking about, like, if you could, for the duration of this ad, you're going to see all my reviews down below.
Yeah.
You know, and you see them sliding, you know, so that's how confident I am when I'm in the ad, and that's the conviction I have. So when they sit the sales call, they're just getting closed on the spot. Because you could have inbounds all you want.
Yeah.
But if you don't have any results, it's just going to be like an outbound call once they actually sit the fucking meeting.
That's true.
And you're going to shit your pants and be like, oh, I've never really actually worked with someone.
Yeah.
Don't rely on that shit. Make sure you have foundation set up first. Yeah.
So inbound and things like inbound and you said your everything is also stacked in house for your agency now.
Yeah.
So all of that stuff you'd say is more on the end when you're doing numbers like yours, like 100K in revenue, stuff like that. But in the beginning, they should primarily just focus on outreach and testing, stuff like that.
Big time.
Simple. Gotcha.
Yeah, man. You have to almost do everything yourself until you get to a 10K a month. I was lucky because I had a twin sister and she was willing to, you know, I was like, look, for everything you book, you can take whatever they pay.
Yeah.
You know, so she was getting like 5 of that 12K that I was making. So I was like, here, you take it. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Just because I had that business. So I gave her half of everything.
That's awesome.
Or pretty much because I took deposits. Not really good method now, but like I took a good amount of deposits. So she was walking away for the first 3 months of working with me, like $4,000 or $5,000. So
that's insane.
I just said you can have half, but I mean the money would have probably went back into the family anyways.
Yeah,
you know.
fair.
So
that's true.
But yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, perfect. And then I also wanted to refer to a video that you released about 3 weeks ago. You know the one where you were ranking the SMMA Gurus? Dude, that was insane. Like, I remember just watching that. I was just cracking up the entire time. But like the value in that was like so accurate, you know, especially like, you know, I was talking about it with Ryan once again, you know, about like the whole course and you know, buying stuff from these gurus, weenies as you call them. And obviously there's guys at the end of the day, guys like Joel Kaplan, Jordan Platten, Max Spearson, you know, they're dropping proper value. But, you know, as someone who's also dropping a free SMMA course soon, as you have on Discord, what would you say to these guys that are out here looking to buy an agency course and spend thousands of dollars from these gurus online?
Bro, it's such a touchy subject, but I don't really care. Everything you can get in terms of value, you know, value online in terms like education is free. Like you should really just be paying for accountability.
Yeah.
Like I'd be happier if I was paying like a personal trainer. I have an online coach, like a fitness coach.
Yeah.
I pay him purely just on accountability. Like I don't have like any kind of tripes or issues training myself or like making up a diet plan, but I have him there to kind of hold me accountable because I use him like he uses me as a case study on his Instagram and stuff like that. So if you're paying in that kind of way where you're paying for like a mentorship or like a one-to-one where you actually get to speak to the actual owner, because I know for a fucking fact if you pay for a Joel Kaplan's course or Jordan Platten's course or even Charlie Morgan's or any of these big guns, Surge, the list goes on. You're not going to be speaking to these guys on a daily basis, maybe not even a weekly basis. And the weekly basis you probably speak with them is asking 1 or 2 questions on the mastermind calls that they want to do.
That's true.
So you need to pay for, if you're going to pay for anything, you need to look for someone who you truly respect, truly like you really want to be taught by this person, and you're like, I want to just learn from him one-to-one. If you can get that off that person, because anyone will do that if you say the right number, if you're paying 10K a month, to or just in one go to like these big guys and you don't even get to speak to them, then what the fuck, like you're just wasting your money. You could find everything you want for free. Pay for the accountability. And the accountability means actually speaking to this person one-to-one at least once a week. That's what I'm a big advocate for, and I have good mentors myself that I do speak once a week to. So it's all about that.
100%. And just speaking on that SMMA course, is that something you're dropping soon or? Yeah,
man. I mean, the free course, it's actually pending. Like it's pretty much already made. We just want to make sure that like everyone that's in our inner circle has utilized everything first before I kind of just give it away for free.
No, fair enough.
But bro, like honestly, a free course is very simple, and I'll plug everyone right now. Like you just need to write a script. You need to pick a niche. Well, you need to pick a niche, then write a script, and then just do Max Spearson's free SMMA course.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do as well. Yeah, that guy got some insane stuff. It's just full A to Z roadmap.
Yeah, man. Just watch it on YouTube. It's a 4-hour watch. Put it on 2x speed. Watch the fuck out of it. Don't just watch it. Actually do this shit while he's describing doing it. But that's it really for him, and then you're on your own really. Just fucking dial. Do whatever you need.
And that's all you need really, I guess, right? Just if you have all the information.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to shorten time frames, like that's why I'm saying the accountability.
Yeah.
Pay for someone who's done it. Like you could pay $400. Stevie Johnson paid some guy $400 to teach him maths, where it would have maybe taken him 6 months to do it if he didn't.
True.
So he paid for someone $400 one time for a month of training, and he maybe sped up his time frame by like 4 months. So if you're paying to speed up time frames,
that makes
do
sense.
it.
Yeah.
It's so worth it. I'd rather spend $400 or $1,000, even $2,000 if I knew I can do 6 months of work in 1 month, or have someone say, "Don't do that shit."
True.
Because then I'd know, oh shit, I was about to do that for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to do that until it didn't work, and he's just telling me don't do it right off the bat. Okay, I'm going to listen to this guy because I've seen he has the receipts, he has this agency, he's not actually fucking around. I'm going to fucking pay for it because I'm just getting straight value.
Yeah.
People think when they pay for some shit, they need that exact same amount of monetary gain back within a certain time frame. I look at it like if I pay for something like Andy Elliott, I'm not going to get any money off Andy Elliott.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to learn is sales skills. So down the line, when I actually sit in front of people, I'll be more confident closing. I'll know what to do, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
You know, I'm paying for something that's at a high price point, but I'm getting a lot in return that isn't monetary gain. It's it's a time constraint gain.
Yeah.
I'm saving time.
Yeah, very true. I definitely agree with that. And yeah, even for you, like obviously I have a question for that a bit later, but you have like that Discord group where you actually hop in the calls and you have that private, community. It's just definitely agree that it'll speed up your time if you have the, ability to actually afford that. So yeah, and then now I have a question more on mindset. So how did you go about even developing that mindset necessary for, building a successful SMMA? Because I know you said you have that mindset that if you say something, you're going to do it, there's no other option. So how do you even go about developing that mindset? Because nowadays everyone has a short attention span, TikTok and all that stuff.
Well, I'm very, very, understanding that the SMMA space is catered to a younger audience because of the larger people in the space that advertise that shit.
Yeah.
So I speak to people all the time, and 99% of them are younger than me. But developing a mindset, the way I did it, I just played professional basketball for so long. So I learned to do things that not every day was a fucking sunshines and rainbows when I was playing basketball, but I still played it because I had a job to do. And I did it for years on end, like legit. I started at 12, I became pro at 16. And since 16 to basically, 24, all I did was play pro basketball, and there was nothing else. It was basketball, fucking smoking weed and playing video games.
Yeah.
But at least on my agenda, I was staying in shape. I was going to the gym every day, playing basketball every day.
Yeah.
That's where I developed that fucking, that need to just, if I do something, I have to do it right. I think it might be a competitive nature type thing, or it's just instilled in me that I just want to be better, because when I was on the basketball court, I always wanted to be the best. Not saying I was, but in my opinion, I was very decent at basketball, but I was never the best, but I was always someone who wanted to be better than everyone else in that particular game. So the same thing with SMMA, you can separate yourself immediately by just being extremely competitive and working every day.
Yeah.
Discipline, just bulldozing, like bashing out with cold calls is like a big thing for me. If you're just putting the volume in, you're eventually going to get something back. No matter how long. If you give something 90 hardcore days of 10-hour work, you're going to get something back.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, just another thing to add on from my personal experience, when it comes to mindset, I've noticed that comparison is also one of the biggest killers, because going to your point of saying that SMMA is catered towards a younger audience.
Of course.
Nowadays you can hop on YouTube and Instagram and you'll see a 10-year-old making more money than everyone So
that should be a wake up call for
yeah, exactly people. That as well.
Yeah.
And then I guess looking at channels like yours where I was telling you earlier, I look at your channel and you just have raw content straight to the point, and it's inspiring for people like me to get started with YouTube.
Most definitely.
Documents. So that whole idea of it being a producer rather than a consumer.
Definitely, man.
Definitely. Agree with that. So while we're on the topic of mindset as well, I just wanted to understand some failures you've experienced. I know you said with service delivery, you fucked up a couple times and stuff like that. So, elaborate on that, because I feel like people just think their agencies are running smoothly. There's no problems.
Man, nobody talks about churn on channels. Man, we lose clients every single month, but we gain clients every single month. So we take our losses like our wins. We win, we move on. When someone pays, okay, great, paid. Next client. When someone loses, fuck. Let's see if we can make them come back. If they're still out, next client. So with problems, the main problem that I can kind of point out, it's always been consistent in terms of monetary gain, but there's problems with relationships, shit hitting the fan within, the actual team, or like extreme things. You know, these are all problems that we all have to face, and this is just life problems. Like running a business is like, you know, catering to a newborn, especially if it's a startup. You know, there's no clear path. Like, you just have to be ready for anything, and like just get the fuck back up, even if it's wins. I always say this as well. Like, it's very much like how I live my life. Don't take the wins or losses in any type of way. Show no emotion, just like when you get complimented or insulted. That's why I don't really have many haters that I know of that don't say anything, because I respond to every comment the same way. I respond to every single comment on YouTube. I don't care if you're hating, I don't care if you're loving. I say the same thing, but it's never me saying, oh, I'm so infatuated by this support, or at the same time, I'm so offended by this hate. Just like you shouldn't be so concerned about the wins, and just like the way you shouldn't be worrying about the losses, because that will happen if you know in your mind you've given it your 100% best. So that's the way it is for me with losses. Like, I've always had problems. Every business has problems. Even this month, just started this month, problems. But it's churn clients for us now. There's nothing else to it. It's just churn clients. But the way we mitigate that is by lowering the churn rate and signing more. Okay. So just worry about the win, the next win, and the next one, and the next one. Don't be comfortable with what you got right now.
Yeah, I love that for sure. And then, you know, for those people watching, they don't have an agency right now. They want to get started. You know, they're consuming a whole lot of videos and watching all sorts of content, but they actually want to get started. What advice would you give to those people in 2024 that want to start their own SMMA? Man,
people are just concerned about, you know, competition. That shit doesn't happen.
Yeah.
There's probably, like, you have no idea. There's probably, if whatever niche you think of doing, there's probably one, maybe two people doing $100,000 a month, and that's it. Actually making $100,000 a month consistently. You hear so many of these bullshit stories on YouTube about people hitting that number, but then you see the receipts, because you can Google search every fucking company, and you can find how much money people are making.
Yeah.
You can see, oh shit, they hit 100K, but it wasn't revenue, or it wasn't profit. And then the next month, where's the receipts? It's like they make that one go, and then that's it. So I wouldn't be concerned about competition. If you're going to start out, just pretend like no one else is doing it. That's my way of doing it. And act fast. Act fast, pretend like you're the only one doing it. Okay. Don't even be concerned with competition, and move fast. Okay,
so even these saturated niches, med spa, auto detailing, you'd still say, screw everyone else, just pursue it?
Man, there's business to be made everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, in my niche, there's like 50,000 companies that could work with me.
Yeah.
I have 30 of them.
Yeah.
You know, so like there's enough for everyone to win.
Yeah, true. That's a very good point. And in terms of the SMMA space, you know, it's like always changing. Past couple of years, appointment setting wasn't even a big thing, but now it's like industry standard. Oh, yeah. So what would you say in like the next couple of years? Like, what's your vision in terms of the industry standard?
It's from the beginning when Tai Lopez created this shit to now. It's always been lead generation, client acquisition. Always been that. Like, you see that a lot of it was media buying at the beginning because that shit was easy. Then the real, like the head honchos like Stevie or fucking, to be honest, I'm just going to say Stevie and Hunter. Like, those are the main guys that have been doing it since the beginning of time. Even E-Man, when he like in his prime, basically, these guys were doing ads and client acquisition. They were doing the service delivery. I spoke to Stevie 2 weeks ago. He told me he's doing the exact same thing as me. He goes, I only do lead gen and client acquisition. That's it. And it blew my mind. I was like, oh shit, I thought he was doing something else. Like, I legit thought he was doing an addition or more to it. And he was like, bro, it's the same thing I was doing from the beginning. It's just gotten so much better. The team is stronger. He was all focused on the team. And when I saw Andy Elliott personally, he was too. And I realized it's just lead generation, client acquisition. And that isn't even just SMMA. That's just fucking any business model in general. Yeah. But with us, it's Facebook ads, Google ads, or some form of advertisement online. They come in through a form. You book them in through Go High Level with some good ass team players on your team, and that's it, really. That's right. So that there's nothing different in my opinion. I don't think I'm going to change with this AI crap, all this, you know, other like fancy shit moving forward. That's all just like shiny object. What has stayed and always has stayed since Tai Lopez created it is lead gen, client acquisition, using real people.
Yeah.
None of the AI bullshit. None of just the media buying. Just book the people in yourself. Whatever it is, find people to do it for you. That's the only model in my opinion. Yeah. That's what we're gonna do until, you know, whatever happens.
Yeah, whatever happens. So what's your long-term vision with SMMA? Is it
Yeah,
something you
good
want to
question.
play with in the next couple of years? Or?
I mean, learning hard skills with running a business is the main scope. Making money, of course, is like that. That's not a focus of mine. That just happens. That's like an add-on or like a side effect of this business.
Yeah.
Where I'm not concerned about the fancy things, the like expensive products, whatever. That means nothing to me. It's running a business, getting it to a point where it can be sold on a grander level, just like, and then have an out and then invest in another echelon and see what happens moving forward. But for now, it's just still about learning skills. Once I was learning, like for me, there's never an end goal. Like there's no max out. You can't really max out anything unless it's like a relationship or something like that with a partner or a friendship. But with a business or, even just buying something, you can always buy something more expensive. You can always find something better. You can always make your business better, and that's the way I see it. So it's just about growing and learning skills, getting to the best version of myself, like basketball.
Yeah.
Like just playing as best as I can, getting as good as I can to actually maxing out my potential, knowing that there's still more at the end.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's also very interesting, because you mentioned in, again, one of your previous interviews that like you could travel when you're 35. As of right now, you're just looking to grind. You moved to Vancouver just to grind.
Exactly.
Of course, there's all sorts of these different guys, whether it's SMMA or other businesses, they go on Instagram and they're traveling Cape Town and doing this and doing that, but you're a bit different in that sense. So why do you think that is? Do you ever not think that, you want to travel, see life and see this?
These people are kids. These guys are kids, man. Like, that's the thing. I'm 26, but I always say this. I'm 25, or I'm 65. I'm 65, but I've been 65 for 40 years. I say that all the time. I've always been that age. I'm just I don't need that's instant gratification in my opinion. Like these guys are acting like they made it. Yeah, you made maybe a couple $1 million. You probably made a lot of money. But yes, have fun. But I'm a big person for doing it in silence until you actually can't do it anymore quietly. Yeah. Like where it's just publicized no matter what. Yeah. These guys are acting like they're Hollywood stars and what the fuck is going on? You made a couple $1 million. Yeah. Like everyone's thinking they're a big shot and they get too big for their shoes. That's why money will never change the person I am. Like, yes, I'll have those fancy things. Yes, I'll have a nice car or a big house, whatever. That's obviously going to happen. Yeah. Not that, but those things people advertise that, they promote it and not understanding that their audience is impressionable and they become materialistic.
Like show off a little bit, but like once you start promoting it like this is what SMMA is, you're fucking crazy, because that's why so many people are impressionable. That's why actually I can advocate for Joe Kaplan. Yeah. Because he keeps that shit low key. Yeah. He's probably a family man. He's older. He probably has a family, wife and kids. I don't know. That's the vibe I get. Yeah. Same with Hunter. Most of these guys really that are flexing, like hardcore flexing, probably single dudes. Yeah. With some issues. So that's why I'm always thinking anyone that really is about the money is going to just be about the money and stay as low key as possible. Yeah. I unfortunately have made YouTube videos tracking my progress, documenting everything. Yeah. So I've taken myself out of the equation that I can remain low key. Yeah. But I'm not fucking retarded where I can think like I'm a bigger guy than I am. Yeah. I'm nobody. The highest fucking followed person in SMA space isn't all that shit either, because you put him beside fucking, Denzel Washington, Margot Robbie, all these super, Leonardo DiCaprio, you put them beside them, they're not going to know who the fuck that guy is. They're going to know who the three people that I just named. Yeah. I'll always know there's a bigger fucking fish in the water. I'm not going to be thinking about that. So when you stay grounded like that, do whatever you want. But I know 99.99% of people that do get a bit of money, do get into the SMMA space, do all this shit, won't be like that. Yeah. So that's why I'm trying to stay as super low key as possible, but at least show you guys that there is actually a type of person out there that isn't about the flexing, isn't about this. Yes, I will have nice things and I will be flexing. Yeah. But I'll be doing it in my own accord. I'm not going to be just doing it so you guys think it's from SMMA. Exactly. It's not going to be about that. When your mind is like that, where it's just not about the fancy holidays, fancy this, you will 100% be that outlier. True. Speaking of outlier mail, I saw some bullshit video. Let's not even talk about that. I just saw an outlier mail video. Don't even get me fucking. You know what I mean? So the bullshit video. It's crazy.
What was it talking about?
Let's just keep it at that. But I see too much fucking stupid shit in the SMMA space. Yeah. About these guys thinking they're all that when they're built like fucking cheese strings. like the video that I said, man. I'm just like, why are you making these videos thinking you're all this hot shit? You've probably never gone to fuck. Some of these guys, I can just tell by watching their videos, they've never got punched in the face ever. They might learn something if they, you just need to reality check them, touch them on the shoulder, and realize, oh shit, this guy can overpower me. I'll show you what overpowering is, bro. I'll show you what making money means.
Yeah.
You need to be a complete male for me to truly respect you. So when I see all this bullshit on YouTube about guys going on holidays, I'm like, let's see what you're like when I meet you in person.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what type of person you are. I want to see that it's not just a crystal clear head in there. I want to see problems. I want to see the pain. I want to see what you've actually been through. I want to know exactly the type of person you are. Because if I see you doing all this flexing bullshit, and then I talk to you and you're like one of those blonde girls in Miami where you just don't you don't have a fucking comment to say, you just there's nothing in your head, where it's just airhead, then I'm gonna fucking call that shit out, and I can just tell by looking at half these people that it's just that type of person anyways. Yeah. Just by looking.
That's very true.
And I'm not being one of those assumptive people. I know that that's the type of people they are because they're so shallow that they think that's important. That they can impress these people to buy their course, which fucking sadly happens. So touchy subject. Yeah. I mean, I'm not big enough to talk shit just yet.
Soon,
maybe.
That's awesome. Yeah. So to end things off, I'm obviously gonna plug your channels and your socials below. But what can people expect from you in terms of content next? I know you're coming for the throne in that arena, and people are gonna see you pop up a whole lot more. But if they wanted to connect with you as well, what's also the best place?
Man, if someone wants to connect with me, I just send me a text. If it's not soliciting, man, I'm always going to give people the light of day to just have a conversation. To be honest, the YouTube, there is no goal. I just like, I enjoy making the content in a grounded way so people can see what it's actually like, the real deal. So it's always going to be that raw, like live type shit, but God knows like what's going to happen really. Like I'm just going with the flow right now in terms of making that content because it is a time constraint. Luckily it's not a chore because a lot of YouTube content creators, you can see that they're doing it just because it's their business model. Whereas I do it for fun because I make pretty much, if not $0 from this every single month. It's just something and that's why I think I'm growing as fast as I am because it's just purely for the viewer and not for myself. So that's why I'm doing it right now and I enjoy doing it.
Fair enough. Okay. So you're probably gonna keep the same thing going and just provide.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I said I'm gonna do this for the next year. The way the content's been pushing out, whatever happens, and then if I have another idea or I see some type of direction with my channel, I'll take it that direction because whatever works is what I'm going to continue doing.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, that's amazing, man. Was there anything else that you wanted to?
No, man. Appreciate you coming out for this. This is definitely, maybe we should make like an episode list for this.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude.
We can talk in a month.
Yeah, for sure. Part 2.
And see the progress.
Yeah, we definitely will. All right, well that brings us to an end. I'm sure you guys definitely found a lot of value from Tariq's story and from the advice that he shared today. Make sure you guys check out his channels below. Everything's going to be linked. He has a YouTube, Instagram, Discord. Anything else?
No, you nailed it in the coffin, bro.
So make sure you guys check him out. But yeah, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace, man. Peace. Okay. Pleasure, man.